Hi, in this our video, I am pleased to give you an overview of the content available on the audit planning section. The scope of the audit planning is to understand the client, its industry, the business environment, and financial data to identify the key account balances and related risk, to plan an adequate audit strategy and audit procedures to mitigate the risk of material misstatement and be able to conclude on the financial statement. I would suggest to perform the audit planning phase as the first activity of the audit, preferably with adequate advance respect the final audit phase, to have the time to address all the outstanding point and critical point that are important for the good performance of the audit. The key points that are included in the audit planning section are understanding the entity and its environment, financial data analytical review, risk assessment, accounting procedures assessment, assertion by category, and risk by category, as balance sheet and income statement. Determination of materiality, performance materiality, and error threshold. Plan the statutory audit and plan the group audit. Let's see in deep what are the content available on the audit planning section. In the HAW video, Understand the Entity and its Environment, we will focus on the important point to understand about the industry-specific matter, the business operation, the financial reporting framework and laws and regulation applicable to the entity, the shareholder structure, what are the key personnel as management, those charged with governance, and other important people in the company. The measurement of performance, what are the important financial information and non-financial information for each stakeholder. What are the points to understand about the management KPI? How to identify and assess the external expert and the service organization that the company use, and what are the main points to discuss and assess about fraud. This content is included in our video Understand the Entity and its Environment. In our video Analytical Review, we will see the to-do activities to perform a good analytical review. Then we will understand what are the financial performance indicator important to evaluate, and what are the non-performance indicator important to understand to evaluate the financial figures. On the account balance analysis, we will see an example of analytical review with balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow with the key points to check to see if the number flow correctly. On the analytical review focus point, we will see all the indicators to consider to perform a good analytical review. In the HAW video risk assessment, we will see how to determine the material account balances, the material class of transaction, and the material disclosure. Then we will see how to identify the risk based on the industry that the entity is operating in and the evaluation of the accounting procedures assessed. Then we'll see how to determine the risk of material misstatement and the level of the risk of material misstatement as significant, medium, and low. Then we will see which point to consider to identify the applicable assertion and which factor to consider to evaluate if the auditor can rely on the internal control or not. In the HAW videos, risk and assertion by area, we will have one video that will focus on the list of assertion of the balance sheet, income statement, and disclosure with the related definition. Then we will have a dedicated HAW video on the general applicable risk and related assertion of the balance sheet, and another video with the general applicable risk and assertion on the income statement. On the HAW video accounting procedures assessment that are covered in the section 4, we will see first how to determine the key accounting procedures to assess. Then we will see for each accounting procedure what are the main points important for the auditor to understand and to map the accounting procedures. Then we will see how to assess the accounting procedure design and the accounting procedure control. Finally, we close to see how to test the implementation of internal control. On our video Materiality, we will see which are the key factors to consider to define the benchmark for the definition of materiality and the benchmark that is therefore important for the financial statement stakeholder. On the determination of the materiality, we will see the factor to consider to determine the benchmark value and the percentage of the benchmark for the computation of materiality. Then we will see how to determine the performance materiality and the error threshold. We conclude on an understanding of the computation of the group audit materiality and the component materiality, performance materiality, and error threshold. On how video plans the audit, we will first summarize all the information that the auditor need to plan the audit, and then we will move to understand what are the audit testing procedures available and when to apply each of them. On define the audit timetable and resources, we will see what are the points to discuss and agree with the client and how to plan the resources. Then we will see the activities to perform to conclude the audit interim phase as formalization and summary of the audit interim findings. And finally, we see how to communicate and what to communicate to the client about the audit interim phase. On how video plan the audit group audit, we will see the summary of information that the auditor has to have to plan the group audit, and then we'll see how to define the significant component of the group and the related audit strategy. And in case that a component auditor that is external respect the group audit team is involved, we will see which kind of information are important to request and how to assess the deliverable received from the component auditor. We will see how to finalize the group audit interim phase with understanding which kind of information has to be formalized and the finding to consider and that are applicable for the audit interim phase. And finally, we'll see which information and how to communicate to the client the interim audit finding. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. To view the full video of other audit topics, request the video by mail. PDF slides are also available. Otherwise, find the video online on the most common learning platform as Udemy, Skillshare, and many more soon. For our video on Audit Insight and all video preview, visit us in YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, and subscribe for be updated on any new content. If you prefer private classes for learning, to have a teacher completely dedicated to teach you audit topics at your own speed and answer all your questions, book our private classes that can be held online or on-site. For detail and to book your private class, contact us by mail. Audit Advisory Service help you with any project related to audit, as accounting procedure, estimate, financial adjustment, and other audit-related activities. Outsourcing of audit activity service gives you the opportunity to have an expert taking care of your audit work, while you can dedicate your time to more important tasks. Whatever choice you make after the video, just remember to focus, learn, and do it.